do an acknowledgement of country for us. Welcome, Uncle Lyle.
This is Gadigal land that we're standing on, so to acknowledge that we're standing on Gadigal land within the UN.
We are the 85% that completely oppose what the Baird government is trying to do to our land clearing protections. We need the Native Vegetation Act. It doesn't need to be weaker, it needs to be stronger. We know that we need our native landscapes to protect our water resources, to protect the topsoils that allow us to have productive, sustainable farming into the future. And we know that we need the habitat for our wildlife, the beloved wildlife that is so unique to this country, and yet the Baird government chooses to wage war against our wildlife.
He says he cares about animal welfare. Well, get rid of these bloody land clearing laws.
Thank you, Corinne. Thank you to the Nature Conservation Council. I see the National Parks Association here. I see Wires. I see the Kolong Foundation, the Total Environment Centre, WWF. Thanks for everything. Unite today, and for which I commit Labor will fight for in the Parliament. And as such, this legislation brought to us by the Baird government is totally unacceptable, and we'll oppose it tooth and nail when it comes before the Parliament. Now we have three very important laws that protect our biodiversity. Three very important laws: the Native Vegetation Act, the Threatened Species Conservation Act, and the National Parks and Wildlife Act. Each of them play a vital role. Together, they provide the architecture to protect what remains of our native vegetation and our native wildlife.
Be able to pay cash into a so-called biodiversity fund if they can't find suitable offsets. Now we know what that's going to mean in the Sydney area, don't we? And what about for mining projects? It is just disgusting.
We know already that with the weakening of native vegetation regulations, we've seen more than 26,000 paddock trees chopped down in just the last 18 months. And we should be in no doubt that if these laws pass, there will be thousands and thousands of others that will be chopped down. We know that 2 million hectares of koala habitat could be cleared under just one code of these really crap so-called biodiversity laws. You know, the Baird government invested just $120,000 for koala conservation last year, and they spent 4 times as much in opening up our pristine wilderness areas to horse riding. Who is actually driving the agenda of the Baird government? It is the same vested interest, and we must turn the tide. It is our responsibility now, because no one in there is going to do that.
Actually, I don't care whether there's 3 laws or 1. There's nothing wrong in principle with combining 3 separate laws into one big Biodiversity Conservation Act. But what is unacceptable is when, in the process of that, you remove the fundamental bottom line that the laws must maintain and improve biodiversity. And that, shamefully, is what the government's up to here. Can you believe it? In 2016, given the history of our country since white settlement on destroying our native vegetation, that a government in this day and age would remove an express provision that the object of our laws is to maintain and improve biodiversity.
I believe 3 years of concerted effort with the best scientific minds, the best ecologists, the best scientists supporting our efforts has led to 0 positive outcomes in this legislation.
The Baird government, the word Baird says it all. Laying bare our environment. That's what this government is about. They want to destroy even the last measures of a gesture to offer habitat and to offer a diversity in the environment that are in place now. And as has been said before, we have destroyed almost 80% of the environment through agribusiness and agriculture and greed that is associated with it. And therein lies the power. Even though it's 80 to 85% of people of New South Wales are against such clearing, such destruction, such mayhem.
The passing of ag-gag laws to try to nullify the voices of animal rights activists, the backflip on the greyhound racing ban, and by the way, in the weeks since that back down, 5 greyhounds have already died on New South Wales racetracks.
Shame.
And instead of investing in modern deterrent technologies, the Baird government has reintroduced shark nets, which trap and kill countless marine animals, including dolphins and turtles. And this week calls boy Troy Grant to lift the ban on the Adler rapid-fire lever-action shotgun.
Oh, what a moron!
Yep.
No!
How quickly they have forgotten the Port Arthur massacre.
Tell the story in 3 numbers. So 1 is 1,000 species that are endangered in New South Wales. The second number, 9%. That is the amount of vegetation in New South Wales that remains in its native condition. And the second number is 8 million hectares, because that is what the WWF report suggests is at risk of being cleared under this legislation. Now, Mike Baird said that that was an exaggeration and that that number was incorrect, but he hasn't released any modelling of what the impact of this legislation would be. So either he hasn't done it, which is amazing, or he's ashamed to release those numbers. 8 million hectares is an awful lot of land, and within those 8 million hectares there will be an awful lot of animals. Tell your friends, family, tell everyone that you know that they also need to stand up for nature, because once it is destroyed, we will not get it back. So stand up for what you believe in, and tell Mark Baird not to pass this progressive legislation. Thank you very much.
We will lose koalas. We will lose plains wanderers. Globally, the 13th most endangered bird species on the planet is in New South Wales. There's only 200 left. This legislation is going to kick them over. They'll be extinct within 10 years without people like you taking the necessary action to make a difference.
Koalas, kill the bill, not our koalas. Kill the bill, not our koalas. Kill the bill, not our koalas. Kill the bill, not our koalas.
Okay, you will not be able to go into Parliament to see the film with your banners, so you do need to leave them behind.